Every time I start a YouTube video, I get so nervous, and I don't know why. It's just a camera sitting on my desk, but I also feel like it's the idea that a lot of people could see this, and I'm just not used to talking to a camera. I'm used to talking to people. So honestly, talking in front of a crowd of people is easier than sitting here by myself talking to a camera that is not talking back to me in any way. So much has happened since the last YouTube video that I came out with. Quite a number of months have gone by. I get wrapped up in day-to-day life. I live day to day. I live hour by hour. The last thing that I remember uploading was the PhotoCon speech that I did. I sort of had a hard time with that too. I honestly felt like I wasn't at my best when I spoke. And I've talked to a couple of different people about this, and everyone has told me, oh, you did great, and we learned so much, but I honestly feel like it wasn't, I didn't hit it out of the park with that one. So I've been struggling with that too for a little while. But some other things have happened, like the holidays, and then I took a break after the holidays, and then wedding season has once again ramped up. So we have a lot to catch up on. So much has happened with my business, changes that I've made for the better. I really wanted to start 2023 off in the right way. I wanted to really streamline our gear. I wanted to upgrade. I really wanted to clean off my desk, because it just seems like every time I turn around, I've got 2 or 3 calendars on my desk that are all made for specific things in my life. I have a calendar for my personal life, I have a calendar for business, and I have a financial calendar where I can see, what bills are coming out during the month and stuff like that. And it's really difficult to deal with 3 different calendars at the same time, and I've been doing it for years. So this year I thought, with all of the technology we have nowadays, there has to be something out here that can pull all of this together. So the first thing that I've been working on that I'm really wanting to share with you guys, and this doesn't have much to do with photography, but if you are a business owner, this might really be able to help you out. It's an app that I downloaded for my iPad called Pencil Calendar. And I'm going to open it up right now, and I'll take a picture of this and include it in this video. But I actually really love this app. You can use your Apple Pencil, and you can treat it just like a normal paper calendar. Because see, I still like to write stuff. I like to see my notes. So I'm just going to hold this up for just a second so that you can see. Hopefully it'll focus. But in red, I have personal appointments, and in blue, I have work appointments. So like weddings, engagements, family shoots, stuff like that. And then it syncs with your normal Apple Calendar so that, I can make sure that my finances are on track, and I can see when certain things are coming out of my account. And I love this thing. So right now I just have my iPad on my desk, and it has made my desk so much nicer and so much neater. I honestly never thought I would be able to get rid of my paper calendar. The second thing that is really huge is that we recently upgraded to the Fuji X-T5s. Okay, so we are super, super excited about that. We kept one of our X-T3s just as a backup, just because you never know. But I sold my X-T2, which was the first camera I bought when we switched to Fuji in 2016. But I thought, I can't be a camera hoarder. I've got to let some of this equipment go. I mean, it's going to collect dust. Someone would be happier using it rather than it just sitting on my shelf. So I let that go. and we sold 3 of our XT3s. We bought 4 of the XT5s, and we kept an XT3 as a backup, and right now I'm really excited. So there's a few things that I have found just in the last week and a half that I had to figure out on my own, that no one else has really talked about. I have scoured YouTube videos, and no one has ever talked about this, and I just thought it was kind of weird. So when I first opened up the XT5, and I thought about doing an unboxing video, but everyone in the world has done that, so I thought I would just dive right in and talk about it. When you first open the XT5 and you're staring at it, and you unwrap it and you're holding it in your hand, there's no way to charge the battery other than to put it inside the camera and then connect the USB-C cord that they give you into a wall outlet and then charge it that way. And that takes approximately 4 to 5 hours. Now, with the way that we shoot and with weddings and everything else, there's no way that I was going to charge a battery one by one connected to an outlet. I just thought that that was a little strange. So that was something that I found a little weird when I first opened up this camera. You have to customize the screen a lot because the display on the back will show you how much time you have left if you're using video. Well, we don't really do video. We just strictly do stills. So we had to customize the screen a lot just to get it to look like the XT5. There's a lot of, things hidden inside different menus, which, I mean, it's the nature of the beast. We're fine with that. We knew that we were going to have to do that. Let's see. I'm glad that they got rid of that swivel screen. I really didn't want to upgrade to that. But I found out just today that there is no connection for a battery grip. And that's one thing that I feel like should be breaking news. And maybe on some Fuji forums it is, but I belong to several Fuji groups on Facebook, and I've never once seen a post on anyone talking about this. On the bottom of the camera, and I have my tripod connector here, but there are no connectors for a battery grip. So for someone like my husband who has bigger hands and you're using a longer lens during the ceremony, it really is wanting to lean forward. There's hardly any support. So you're holding the lens as you should, but it's a lot to get used to. You have a lot of your hand like sort of hanging over. And so that's a little strange to get used to. So that was another discovery even just today. I will say that the autofocus, they have been raving about that for months now, and I couldn't wait to try it out. Our first wedding with the XT5 was just this last Friday, just last week. 7 days ago was my first experience ever shooting with the XT5. And it knocked the XT3s out of the park. It literally reminded me of like Canon. I mean, I remember upgrading to the Canon Mark IIIs, and I thought that that was the most spectacular camera ever. I mean, the upgrades just keep getting better and better. When I was able to shoot a photo with the bride and groom dancing, and there was a beam of light coming in through the upper window, when I took the photo, you could literally see the dust coming in from that beam of light, and I had never seen that before, and it really caught my eye. And I thought, as I'm standing there on the dance floor, this camera is magnificent. The autofocus is relentless. I mean, once it's locked into something, it will stay locked in. As the bride was coming up the aisle and she was walking towards the groom and the altar, I had it on autofocus, like back button focusing, and it just stayed on her the whole time. So I had it on continuous focus, and then the autofocus button was on. I was hitting that and then taking pictures, and I didn't miss a single shot. With the XT3, it did pretty good, but there would always be one or two that didn't come out because they were blurry or it just missed focus. this locked onto the bride the entire time. The other thing I noticed that really stood out to me was at the end of the night when they did their exit shots, and I'm going to include some exit photos that we took with the XT5s. They were honestly the most spectacular exit shots I have ever taken in the 10 years that I have been doing wedding photography with Canon or with any of the previous model Fujis. These cameras are spectacular. This is the best Fuji upgrade that we could have made. I mean, I am so excited about this camera. Like, I have literally been speechless for days. Every day I feel like I'm discovering something new. The autofocus, the in-camera stabilization, the exit photos, the action shots that this thing takes that are so clear, and it's so fast. And during receptions when it's dark and it's literally just shooting this stuff in the dark like it's nothing. I mean, these cameras are fabulous. I am really, really excited about this recent upgrade. So I sort of want to talk about now, I'm moving on to what is in our bag this year as far as gear. There haven't really been much changes, but I will say last year when I got the 50 f1, there was a couple, sessions and weddings and stuff I had to do with it to really get the hang of it. But I have come to love that lens and to really count on that lens. So when I first start a wedding day and I'm doing getting ready pictures and I'm taking the bride out to take some pictures with her bridesmaids, what is on my camera is my 23 millimeter and then my 50 f1. That's what I start out with. I take any detail shots with an extension tube and my 50 f1. If she doesn't have many details, then I'll just take the detail shots with my 23. After that, when we move into the ceremony, I switch out my 50 to my 50 to 140 so that I have some length to work with. I still keep my 23 on so that I can get a good overall shot of what's happening. The other thing that has changed for weddings, for so many years, Shane and I have shot weddings exactly the same. He's always up in the front. That way he can get the bride as she's coming towards the altar, and I'm always in the back, and I always get the back of her dress, and I get the groom's expression as he sees her for the first time. That gets boring after a while, and our shots just seem so predictable. So what we've done is we've actually switched this year. So now I'm in the front, and I'm getting the bride coming up the aisle, and then he swings around the back, and both of us are getting stuff that we've never gotten in the past. There's a few pictures that I will include in this video of the groom crying or breaking down, or I've been able to get directly behind him, sort of, so that he's still in the photo, but he's blurred, and then with the bride walking towards him, and that's such an interesting angle. So in changing our spots during the ceremony and just how we cover things, we're able to be more creative, and we've come up with different ways of covering things. He knows the way I shoot and I know the way he shoots. So now that we've switched positions, we are now aiming to get things that we've never gotten in the past. I think it's important to really up your game each year if you can possibly do it. You have to keep up with the latest trends, and I try not to be trendy, especially with editing. I like to think of my editing as timeless. I don't want to fall into trends with editing too deeply. I feel like editing trends come and go, and I don't want a bride to look at her photo 5 years from now and go, ooh, that's not a good look anymore. This doesn't even look good, and I don't even want to print it out or share it on social media. So I think with editing trends, you have to be very careful. But as far as posing trends and shooting trends and different positions, I think you should always be experimenting with that. I honestly feel like I'm using my dream camera right now. The XT5 has surpassed anything that we've ever used, and if you guys have the opportunity to upgrade or to even rent it and try it out, you should definitely do that. Right now, I am working on editing 2 weddings, And so I've got to get back to that, but I did want to hop on here and just give you guys an update on what's been going on the last 5 or 6 months. I promise to start putting out YouTube videos a whole lot sooner than what I have been doing. But you guys have to check out the X-T5. I mean, it's fantastic. I know I rambled a lot in this video and literally went from one subject to the next, but I have like 400 things going through my head right now. So I would say, just to wrap this up, my favorite camera right now is the X-T5. My gear list right now for weddings goes from the 23 to the 50 f1 to the 50 to 140. Those are the 3 main lenses I'm using right now that I've been using for the last several years, and I still gravitate towards those with every single wedding. My husband uses the 16 to 55 and the 56, the new version that just came out, and he absolutely loves it. I will also include a few of the portraits he's done with that lens. That's definitely worthy of an upgrade. I feel like I've streamlined my calendar. I'm using my iPad more, and I think this year weddings are going to just be an absolute hit. So I look forward to making more videos. I look forward to answering more questions from you guys. Please don't hesitate to reach out if there's something you want to know, something that could possibly help you. If I don't know it already, I'll research it and I'll get back to you with an answer. It was so great to make this video today, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.